Hey everybody, JK here again from Weekend Panda. Today I'm going to be doing some just inking in Affinity Designer. The image that you see before you was done as a rough concept in Krita, and now I am going to take it into vectors. So this is going to be one of the backgrounds for the early stages of the upcoming Weekend Panda game, which is still yet to be fully revealed and announced, but obviously I'm still working on background, so it's going to take a little while. I'm going to, I guess I'll leave my webcam running since I'm going to be working in Affinity Designer, so not on the Cintiq, but I don't know how much I will talk because this is just lovely line work. So I may end up speeding up the video for YouTube when I post it later, if I can manage to figure out how to do that. Otherwise, I will chime in here and there. And if anybody wants to chat who is watching live, feel free to type something into the chat box and I will try and glance over there every once in a while. And we'll get started. All right. Good deal. So one thing that I would mention here is that these are not the final colors. The colors that I will be using are not the final colors. They are just placeholders so that I can make sure that I'm able to see where my lines and such are. After I'm done with this inking, I will then go back and mess with colors and things. But for now, we're just going to, I should probably start down. That doesn't matter. For now, I'm not going to worry about colors because that's one extra step that I don't want to have to deal with at the moment. So I'm just going to go ahead and, oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. I'm like, what's wrong here? I should start at a different spot and then go on the edges of the hills instead of at the valleys. So I have a bunch of different options for backgrounds currently, and this is the one that I ended up deciding is probably going to be the best bet. I still haven't finalized this. I'm still not 100% sure if this is the one that I will go with, but for now, this is what I'm looking at. The level will be down at the bottom in this area, and then this you won't interact with these hills and everything. They're more just for the just to give it a little bit more life, because without something in the background, it just really does. It makes the game feel less finished, I guess you would say. So I don't expect many people to really admire the backgrounds in this game. It's not super important to the actual gameplay itself. It's something that I really want to kind of just fade a bit into, like just recess into the game so that people aren't distracted by it, but there's still a little bit of visual interest. So, all right, those two are done. And I should probably name these layers because otherwise I'll forget. And sky. All right. Again, anybody who's hanging out live, feel free to chat, and I will chat back. So I think I'm going to zoom in and do these shrubs later. I'll do that last because it's a little more detail. and instead I will do these clouds first. Now, how do I want to do the clouds? I have a couple options to do these clouds because they're kind of rounded shapes. I can either, well, that's never going to work. Let's first let me get it ready to go. Okay, so I can either create them via circles, which I think is probably what I'll end up doing for now and seeing how that works out. I can create them via circles and then combine them all into one shape, which I think is going to end up being easier to do than the alternative, which would be to use the pen tool and just go over every single spot. The pen tool is good for some things and some other things it's less good for, and one of the things it's less good for is when you're trying to get these it's not that you couldn't get perfectly rounded shapes with it, it's just that it's not going to probably be as clean. It will take a lot longer, I will say that. A little. You know what? I'm going to temporarily hide these two so that they don't get in my way. Okay. Back to clouds. And the nice thing about this is I'll be able to go back in and tweak stuff afterwards if I so desire. Whereas with the pen tool I could do the same thing, but I'd have to mess with individual vertices and it probably just wouldn't be quite as easy. Okay. Also, I should save every once in a while. So I decided to add some little angles here. Just to kind of give it a little more visual interest. I don't know if I'll keep that or not, but for now, not hurting anything, might as well stay. I'm checking keyboard shortcuts as I go because that was not correct. I need ellipse tool is M, but so is rectangle tool. Every tool is M. So V apparently gets me back to the move tool, which is good, and M gets me to cycle through the shape tool, which is useful for me because then I will be able to just keep my hand on the V and the M tool, and hopefully that will speed up production a little bit more. Remember to push. Tricky thing is it will take some getting used to. Alright. Maybe on view. Alright. So clearly some things to figure out regarding those. Okay. Alright, that seems like it should work. Apparently it put some of the ellipses on their own layers, so let me just move those into the cloud group. In, please. There we go. Okay. All the clouds should be together. Okay. So we'll take these. We'll just leave them as lines for now. And what I will do is group these into a big clouds. And then I'll do a new layer for these smaller clouds because oh, I can separate them if I need to change anything. I think that would probably work out better. Okay. Zoom in. Let's try those keyboard shortcuts again. Why is it doing that? Don't know. Some reason, some of the time, it is not allowing me to do what I want it to do with keyboard shortcuts, and sometimes it is. I'm not 100% sure why. Oh well. This is where I should have some music playing or something, but I haven't gotten that far yet in the Twitch habits and things. Oh, there's a little heart down here. Didn't even know I meant to. Don't think I meant to do that, but it's kind of nice. And I'll continue to mess with these things and just tweak stuff and see what works and what doesn't at the end. But for now, I'm just kind of trying to get all of the current design inking done. Oh, what do I want to do here? I think I'll go back to the pen tool for this one. Maybe both. I'll do a little bit of pen tool and a little bit of not pen tool. How do I want this thing to look? Let me go to the other one first. These ones are a little better defined. So see this is why I was trying to avoid the pen tool before, because I'm gonna have a lot more tweaking to do on these little individual vertices. Then it's good for now. Oh, I could just hit V to go back and forth, perhaps. That would be useful. Nope, never mind. We'll give it a whirl and see what that looks like after the end. Okay. That shot. It's kind of an interesting effect with the dark lines. Cool. All right. I think that takes care of the clouds for now, and then we'll go back and tweak stuff later. All right. So turning these appears to have moved some stuff again. So let me put those in big clouds. Where are these? Okay, so just moved a bunch out of the cloud puff grouping, so we'll put them back where they belong. All right. That should do it. Now all those are there. All those are there. These are back. Okay. Good deal. So now I'll do the little shrubberies, which are hard to see, and so the thing I should have done was to make that a darker color just for this process, but I didn't, so oh well. Life goes on. Um, So probably what I'll do then is after I finish these shrubberies, I will put a fill color on everything, just a base fill color so that you can see what it'll look like. And then that'll probably be where we end today's stream, just so that it doesn't go on too long, because I'll have to spend a considerable amount of time working on the final colors and things, so that'll be either a future stream or just work to be done. As fun as it is to watch circles being copied and pasted, I'm not sure that anybody would enjoy watching me sift through 52,000 colors trying to find the right combination, because that will take forever for me. Color theory is one of my least practiced, what would be the term for it? Not genre maybe, but one of the things that I'm the least practiced at. So that always takes me so much longer than everything else, just figuring out colors. But you gotta do it. One or two. That one I'm not going exactly where the original was, because I feel like it's not quite right, but I'll look at it later. It's a weird shape, but I'm not sure what I was doing there. So. Almost done. No, it's a million. So what I could do is just copy and paste a bunch of these from over there to over here. I'll just do them. It's fine. For some future background, I may copy and paste elements from earlier, because this will take forever. For now, I'll do them all. This is a lot faster when you're not doing it with circles so exactly, because in Krita I was able to just use the paintbrush and womp womp womp, there goes some bushes. 2 seconds. That will make them all nice for the final. Eyes are starting to go fuzzy from squinting at this. So here's the lesson of the day. If you are going to do something like this, make the colors high contrast for when you're inking them, because it's really hard to see and very annoying. Alright. Ah, see the end. The end is near. Almost finished. Alright. Last little bit. I'm not sure if I'd really want these last ones disconnected or not, because I feel like they might work better if they're one thing instead of two small ones, but I'm not sure. So I'll just make them two for now and then mess with it later. Tweak stuff. Or not tweak stuff, because again, this is a background and I have so much other work to do, and I should probably just leave it be a little bit more. Being a perfectionist. Alright, those are done. Let me save before something crashes and then we're all doomed. Alright, so put all my ellipses somewhere else, which is fine. I'm just going to scoot them into the... There's a lot of shrubbery layers now. I'm just going to group them. And we'll just call that group bushes. Oops. We do group. Call the group bushes. That's fine. They go above the clouds, though. Above the clouds, please. Nope. Oh, yep. Oh, that's fine. I haven't quite mastered where to put the layers so that they don't jump into a previous group, which is fine, but okay. So we'll turn everything on now. Nice bold black lines. Save this again. We'll go to make a new layer. Don't put the sky in the clouds. There we go. Oh wait, stupid! I already made the sky layer in advance. So we'll make the sky layer a big big rectangle, just so that we have something we can put in the very back. Okay, there we go. So now we just need to fill everything in with random colors. It doesn't matter right now because we are going to alter stuff later. Shrubberies. Oh. Don't have a lot of shrubbery. I mean, we have a lot of shrubberies, but they're all on random layers, which is fine. Just turn that off and oh, we'll make them green. All right. Back of the hill. Make green and front hill. Make a different green. So there you go. Still work to be done because that something is off. What's off? Hang on. I should have just brought the background up. Okay, so I have slightly darker bushes, I think, which are the problem. Yes, no. This layer is the problem. This layer is the problem. I don't know. Something is off. Well, that's a little better. This is exactly what I said I was not going to do, which was mess with all the colors and things. But for now, it's fine. Okay, cool beans. So this is the pretty fancy new background that will be in vector form. This was the, is that the old one? Yes, that's the old one, and then we have the new one. So you can see that it's pretty close to what I had before, and I think that it probably works pretty well. I might go in and tweak a few things, but yeah, I think that it's coming along. Yeah, I'll mess with stuff and see what comes about, because there's still a few things to tweak. But for now, I think that it's in pretty good shape, especially to start with. So cool. Well, thanks everybody for coming who stopped by. Oh, we got some messages that I failed to see. Angry Fish says, oh, it looks nice once the coloring is filled in, and Nin Sage says, hi JK. So hello to both of you, and I agree, it definitely looks better with the color done in. I guess since some folks are chatting, I will at least go in and let's see, how do I want to do this? First, let's save it. I can put in the background. Do I want to put in the background gradient? I guess I can. Why not? Although I will need to see what I did before. So I have a darker color at the bottom and a lighter color at the top for the gradient. I had given considerable thought to either doing dark at the bottom and light at the top, or whoops. Okay, grab that one. So I thought about either doing it this way, where dark was at the bottom and light was at the top, or potentially I will duplicate this layer and swap it, where we go the opposite direction, except not in. How do I edit that? Nin Sage says, oh, are you stopping now? I'm stopping it momentarily, but I'm going to finish this gradient and try, oh wait, I could probably just, yeah, there we go. So there you go. I will get some feedback before I quit from you guys who are now chatting in the chat. We have option 1 where the sky is darker at the top, and then we have option 2 where the sky is darker at the bottom. So it kind of has a different feel, perhaps different time of day. Not sure which I will go with, whether it's darker at the bottom or darker at the top, but I'm kind of leaning towards, I don't know. I'll mess with the colors some more, and then if anybody wants to check out the final version before the game is finished, I will probably post it on Twitter. But until then, I'll just keep messing with stuff and seeing what it's going to work as. There are other elements, obviously, that I have to figure out for finishing it. For example, I need to make sure that the little panda that we had made fits in with it. This guy. He's not going to appear in the background. Try again. Just to kind of have him. Come on. So, little panda will be here too, and he'll need to fit with everything. He's not going to sit on the background like that, but he needs to kind of blend in with everything else. Let's see. Angry Fish says, I kind of like the darker at the top, but the light at the top kind of makes more sense since the sun is at the top. The sun can be wherever I want it to be. The beauty of art. So, I don't know. I would imagine that if the sun is rising, then you're going to have it be darker. Sun rising, darker at the top probably. Sun setting, darker. No, that wouldn't make any difference. Yeah, yeah, so the sun is high in the sky, then the horizon line would probably be darker. Don't quote me on that. I have no idea, but I think so. And InSage says, that's toughy. Both versions look good for different reasons. I know, right? That's the problem with this stupid art thing. Like, I can do a million things and probably they'll work, but I have to pick one. And the white cloud background with the panda might make the panda harder to see. I agree. That's why I'll keep tweaking colors and things, and we'll go from there. The nice thing is that some of the time the panda will be, at least initially, in the sky, and some of the time he'll be here, and he might be here some of the time. One of the things I was thinking of possibly doing is having a darker outline all the way around the panda so that he's a little beefier, and then you'll always be able to tell where he is on the different backgrounds. But the other thing that I can do is, which I can do real quick because the clouds are all on their own layer, I can make the clouds like really fade into the background by just giving it closer to that sort of a hue. And now they don't work at all with the bushes, which is why I'll have to go tweak the bushes, which is why blah blah blah, and it goes forever, and then we're doomed. Angry Fish says the darker sky at the top makes the colors pop more. Yeah, it does make the colors pop more until I start messing with the colors, at which point then I'm going to have to rethink everything. So there's a lot of things to think about when it comes to coloring and that sort of stuff, and it drives me nuts, and that's why that's one of the reasons why I don't practice it as much as I should, because there's just so many things that happen. And then there's when you put one color next to another color, it changes both colors, which is bizarre but is accurate. If you remember a while ago, there was that dress that was this meme all over the internet where it was either blue and gold or blue and white or gold and brown or something like that. Anyway, somebody did a variation of that where they took the same color and they moved it between different images. And when they did, that exact same color looked either white and blue or it looked yellow and gold or whatever. And it was only because of what was surrounding the colors. Like, your brain just interprets it entirely different. So it's trippy. And yeah, I don't know. It's hard stuff. But we'll see what happens. And I'll just keep messing with things until it either works or the deadline comes. And that's generally how it works. Angry Fish says roll dice to decide. I agree. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll grab myself a D20 and I'll assign random colors to it, and we'll go from there. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up there then. I appreciate folks stopping by, and InSage and Angry Fish, and chatting with me, and everybody else who is apparently here but not talking. But, whatever works. You're always welcome to chime in. And if anybody's watching on the replay, thanks for hanging out. And I guess then, I don't know when the next stream will be. I have not scheduled one, which I really should in advance so that people who are here can know when the next one's coming. But I imagine it will be later in the week, and it will probably be somewhere between the noon and 5 o'clock hours Eastern Standard Time, because that seems to be when some folks can jump by. Okay, cool beans. So thanks for coming, guys, and we'll see you next time. Now I have to open the program and click the stop button.